So I am here in Ojai, California, which I love the pronunciation of. It sounds like everyone's just saying, oh, hi. I'm at the very first Lumix Collective event, where all the Lumix creators get together in like Johnny Cash's ranch. We create things, we talk about the products, and I thought it'd be great to take you along the journey with me. But I'm also shooting everything on the G9 Mark II, and I wanted to make a video about how blooming great I think this camera is as a travel device. Emily from the future here. I just thought I'd caveat this. I missed a very important word out. Hybrid. Hybrid camera. A camera that is both brilliant at photo and video. I think the G9 Mark II is up there with the very best of hybrid travel cameras. Of course, for photocentric stuff, I love and highly recommend smaller, adorable, everyday carry sort of cameras, but I didn't want to rock up to a Lumix event with a 7-year-old spray-painted camera. So for this trip, I'm testing the G9 Mark II and all of its hybrid capabilities. Hybrid. Okay, as you were. So first of all, I'm gimbal free. There is a lot of people here shooting the S5 Mark II, which is a tremendous camera with great stabilization, but a lot of them still need to rely on a gimbal. I'm just going as light as possible, and with the stabilization in the G9 Mark II, I think I don't need a gimbal. Look at some of these handheld shots. I think it's really, really cool. One feature that I didn't think I would use at all on this trip is the pre-burst mode. But when I first arrived at Johnny Cash Ranch, the first thing I noticed were hummingbirds in these flowers over here. And I thought, I'm going to make it my life's mission to capture that as much as I can while I'm here. On day 2, I went for a mooch around the grounds and found some hummingbirds, and it was just a matter of waiting and using the pre-burst mode on the G9 Mark II to get these shots. I used a 20 frames a second pre-burst mode, and I knew that once the hummingbird was where I wanted it to be, all the guesswork was taken out of it, and I literally did it in one take, and it was done. I've been thinking that that is exclusively a wildlife sort of feature, and not many other people may get the benefit from it. But even when you are traveling, it's so unpredictable. You never know when you might need it. And I'm so grateful that I had that feature with me at this time. Little did I know, just after filming this, the burst mode would come in handy for what Lumix had in store for us next. Our first challenge was to photograph and film this polo player. Yes, these are photos I shot in the mechanical burst mode and with RAW plus JPEG using real-time LUT. This is my Black Frost preset. Another challenge thrown at us during this task was the weather. I don't think anyone expected it to rain. Done a bit of burst mode and now I'm trying to capture some video. I'm shooting in open gate at the moment. I suppose the theme of this video is that travel is very unpredictable, so you never know what features you might value and when. So yay for weather sealing. We're off on a scavenger hunt. We've all been split up and we've been given some top secret info. I'm going to use real-time LUT to capture these photos. I'm excited to get creative and see who else is on my team. As part of the Lumix Scavenger Hunt, we're in a lovely little town at the moment getting some street photography. I'm really enjoying using real-time LUT and using the G9 Mark II as our out and about camera. Though you know, I do love a tiny camera. I also have the GX8 on this trip. Sometimes having all the features for photo and video is super handy. Here are some of my favourite photos that I've took with real-time LUT during this trip on the G9 Mark II. I've used Black Frost, which is one of my custom presets, and also Streetwise, which is in the City Escape pack. You can check them out in the description below. This is such an awkward camera angle. One of the things that I've been tasked to do on this trip is to create some vertical content as well as the video you're watching right now. Sometimes it's hard to do that because sometimes you might need to shoot things twice. You'll need one landscape, one portrait. But the G9 Mark II has a feature called Open Gate, and I'm shooting with it right now. It shoots on the full sensor at 4:3, so it gives you plenty of latitude whether you want to edit in vertical or horizontal. One thing that I think is an overlooked feature that is necessary for travel photography is the dual card slot. Why do I think it's good for travel? Well, there's two ways you can work your dual card slot. One, which I'm doing on this trip, is I'm putting all of my footage on the two cards automatically, and then one of those cards will never get formatted until I'm home and safe. And the second way to think about it is something that I did in Kenya when I was on safari, because it was such a massive volume of content that I was creating, and sometimes it was 12 hours before we would go back to the hotel, just constantly shooting. I would shoot my dual slots in a relay. That way, if something happens that's very important, I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to go, oh no, the card's full and I didn't realise. It'll just relay automatically onto the second card. Most trips, like if I'm going away for a long weekend, I could just put two cards in and have them automatically relay, and it would cover the whole thing, and I would never have to think about changing a memory card. So I think it's a great feature to have for travel in particular, as well as professional work. I mean, that's the main reason why I value it. But this year I found it super handy for travel. One of our challenges for the Scavenger Hunt was to do a group shot, and you know, the most creative wins, so we decided to jump. And we got it in slow-mo, we got it in burst mode, and we got it with pre-timer burst mode, so all of the options are covered. Now this is a little bit niche, but during this trip I have found the custom dials to be super handy. If you don't know about the custom dials, or maybe your camera has them and you don't utilize them, I'd highly recommend giving it a go. So you can put anything you want on these dials. For instance, today I have my 120p 4K on number 1. I have OpenGate 60p on number 2. And then on number 3, I have my photo settings using real-time look. So it makes going around the town, capturing footage, super easy, because I don't want my real-time look on my video. I want that in vlog, but I do want my real-time look on my JPEGs. So if you customize it how you want it, you can get around things dead quick. And this isn't just a G9 Mark II thing, a lot of the high-end Lumix cameras have them.
I'm Mercedes. I go by Mercedes Alyssa Photos. I'm a photographer based out in Toronto, Canada, Ontario.
And what is your camera of choice?
The G9ii.
Now, it was so nice to speak to you, because I've thought that the low light reproduction in the G9 Mark II is such a step up, but I don't know why. I really want to ask the engineers. Have you found it going from the original G9 to the Mark II?
So I used to use the G95, and I was struggling in low light, okay, if I'm being honest. But that G9ii and the advancements that came with it, holy beep. The low light performance in it is absolutely insane. And if you use it in concerts, you're gonna have no problem comparing to a full frame camera. Even if you shoot just in low light situations in general, use the G9ii and you'll have no issues.
I will show you some of the lovely photographs for proof.
Guys, coffee's over there.
Oh, we're going to get coffee.
Sorry.
Thank you, Lumix, for this amazing trip. I think I've made friends for life. I've got plenty more videos on the way from this trip, so make sure you stick around for them. And in the meantime, check out these G9 Mark II videos.